Hey, how's it going out there, folks? Welcome back here to a Sunday night. It is the end of the weekend here, and it is the Earthmaster. I may sound a little bit different here because I'm on my laptop away from the computer desk, my typical normal studio there back at home, but I'm on location right now, so I still got to keep the updates going, but on a different computer, so my voice may sound a little bit different, but I'm not an imposter. I promise you that. 6:24 p.m. That's California time here. March 16th, 2025, Sunday, end of the weekend here. Latest activity on the earthquake 3D globe shows looks like a little two-pointer here across the California area. We'll get to that here in just a minute. Covering the Santorini area of Greece first. Got continued earthquake activity out here in the last several weeks here. Looks like about 345 earthquakes in the last 7 days. Some of the latest quake activity here show some twos and some ones. That four-pointer that struck out here yesterday, the Raspberry Shake data system is showing a 4.6. Let's see here. The 4.6 was much further down south. I want to look here real quick and look at the largest magnitude here in this region, because last night when I did the update, there's a 4.3 in the mix there of all that earthquake activity. So that looks like it was actually today. Number of threes out there in the last couple days. It looks like things starting to pick back up out here across the Santorini area in terms of the multitude, the magnitude level count out here. So it's definitely something of noteworthy value after, I'd say, a week or two of declining activity. The magnitudes out here appear to be getting a little bit larger out there across the Santorini area. This is from the 15th, and the most recent data today only goes back here the last couple hours. But yeah, still looking at continued earthquake activity out there. Really no unusual migrational pattern out here yet. Just still seeing some movement across that cluster, the swarm area up here northeast of the Santorini area where that recent four-pointer struck, and a little bit of activity here across the Santorini caldera area. But aside from that, no unusual activity to note there across the area for now. But of course, we'll continue to keep an eye on that. As far as California goes, one earthquake here on the San Andreas Fault. Looks like a little 1.1 just outside of Desert Hot Springs area that is off the southern branch here of the San Andreas Fault. No major swarming going on here that I can see. No unusual activity to note there across Southern California for now. A handful of earthquakes up here across Ridgecrest, but we've got about 20 earthquakes or so in that area. Really nothing of any major noteworthy value. Also some activity stirring up near Pinnacles, the latest at 2.3 a couple hours ago here. That is along the creeping segment of the San Andreas Fault. So got to watch that, because when this moves, normally we'll see things elevated upstream here around the Bay Area and also down south. But for now, we're just waiting to see if things pick up. Northern California here, pretty quiet aside from one earthquake. That looks like it's from last night, actually, 2.4, so nothing showing up, surprisingly, there across Northern California for now. Let's check out the tremor map here tonight. See what we have for Cascadia tremor. I believe it's out. Nothing. Zip zero. That is the number here today, so maybe that's why we're not seeing a whole lot of earthquake activity there across the Northern California area. Most of the time here when things ramp up across the tremor department downstream into the subduction zone, we'll notice elevated earthquake activity upstream where the strain tends to build. For the rest of the area out here, Texas still getting hit. Nothing new out there. Just the oil fields of Texas out in the Permian Basin region still getting hit with earthquakes. Nothing major going on across the rest of the country as noted. New Madrid seismic zone, pretty quiet. If we look at the last 24 hours of earthquake activity here in the largest magnitude, yes, we got a little bit of further movement out here across the Ethiopia rift boundary with today's largest earthquake, a 5.5. Excuse me, thought I had that on silent, but now I do. That was probably pretty loud. It was right next here to the computer. Yeah, so a little bit of movement here today across the Ethiopia rift boundary. Of course, this region here had a huge amount of moderate earthquakes in the last couple months, with really no eruption, just a bunch of earthquake activity. It looks like things are starting to kick back up there in the Ethiopia rift boundary. So we'll watch that. As far as the clustering going on up here across Japan, it looks like the last earthquake was 9 o'clock this morning for a 4.6. Nothing new there to report. Just double check this, refresh it. I'm not seeing any newer earthquake activity coming into the area for now. As far as New Zealand goes, not a whole lot showing up there on the USGS side of things. A lot of older activity out here from this morning, it looks like, on the Earthquake 3D globe. One newer quake across the Aleutian Trench. Aside from that, typical day out here in the earthquake department. Let's go ahead and check out space weather activity here real quick. And let's see what's going on here from solarham.com is the website out here. No major solar flares out there. In fact, if you look here on the solar flare chart, well, things are pretty quiet. Let's see what we got here. My internet's a little on the choppy side right now, but it's consistent here, at least where I'm at right now. A little bit of sea flare activity here in the last couple hours, but really nothing big, folks. I mean, not a whole lot of complex sunspots out there. So when that happens there, we just look at potential for maybe some sea flare activity. But yes, there is numerous sunspots out there, but they are all fairly stable in terms of the magnetic structure and the complexity of those sunspots. So as numerous as they are, they're not producing a whole lot of solar flare activity out there. And that will continue to be the case until we get some type of more interesting activity out there, which may not be not in near term for now, but we'll continue to keep an eye on it. No major auroras there in the forecast as noted. I know the mouse is a little small here on this screen. I haven't updated it yet on my laptop. I know a lot of people like to see the cursor a little bit larger, like I normally do on my updates, but I'll try to fix that here on this one, on this computer, because I'll probably be using it for a little while. Storm Prediction Center, severe weather, limited out here across the eastern coast. Got a slight risk for some severe weather out there right now. Tornado, wind, and just a small amount of some hail threats out there across these areas through the evening. For the day 2 outlook, California out here. Got a little bit of thunderstorm activity potential out there. Nothing big. Day 3, this is going to be for the day on Tuesday. Looking at maybe a return of some marginal risk for some severe weather up across, looks like Iowa, Nebraska, Cedar Rapids area. Here in the green, there's a little marginal risk for some severe weather. I think that's mainly due to just a hail threat, but we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Let's check the numerical models here real quick, see if anything of major interest is going on. Here's that severe marginal risk for some severe weather here on Tuesday and Wednesday for some hail. I don't think there's going to be any tornado potential. It's mostly going to be hail associated with that system there, but maybe another windstorm out there across Texas. I was just looking at that on the windy map. Let's go over here real quick and check this out and show you guys. Man, got all sorts of wind coming, of course, to California, but they've been dealing with some a lot of unfortunate events out here across Kansas and Texas lately, and of course Oklahoma with the wildfires in terms of wind and stirring up a lot of dust out here, a lot of sand being blown all over the place. Strong south wind coming in here over the next couple days, with possibilities of increasing levels up to about 50 to 60 miles per hour here for the Texas area. Massive low pressure system here, not as strong as that low pressure that we just got through dealing with in this area, but look at some of these gusts of winds out here, maybe 50, 60 miles an hour out here for Tuesday, and that's not good. They don't need any more blowing sand out here, but Looks like that may be a possibility here as that low pressure system wraps up to the northeast, pulling with it some moisture. There might be a few storms down here throughout the middle of the week, but as far as anything severe goes, I don't think we're going to see it right now. Let's see what else we got here, folks. Try to keep this short because I am, like I say, I'm on location here with Missy Mimi's. I got a few things I got to do here, and we're just making sure we get our update videos in as expected. Hey, there's some warm temperatures coming up here. Look at these daytime highs out here across Texas and all the way up into Kansas and even Nebraska. Strong surge of warmer, moist air coming into the area there off the Gulf of Mexico. That is on the day on Monday. That's not going to last long, though, I don't think, because we got that low pressure system coming in from the California area, expected to impact the region here through mid and late this coming week with some cooler temperatures once again. But man, I was talking about the weather pattern staying active out here. It looks to be the case, and I don't mind it here in California because we need the rain. We don't get that crazy, catastrophic, severe weather that these folks just got through dealing with here in California. So, but we'll take the rain. Hopefully, that severe weather threat remains limited out here across the area in the future. But as always, got to be prepared for the possibility of seeing that return to the area here in the coming weeks with all the mixing of the colder and the warmer environment throughout the region. All right, just a real quick glance here. Nothing new going on the Earthquake 3D Globe, so we'll talk at you guys a little bit later on tomorrow morning. It's Monday morning. Pretty soon. It's not Monday morning yet. Still got the rest of Sunday evening to enjoy. We'll catch you guys back out here in the morning, though. Have a good night.